Hey, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about easy win ad campaigns and specifically the old Facebook lead ads campaign. You might have heard some stuff about lead ads campaigns. They can be absolutely horrible if you don't do them right, but if you do them right, they can be amazing. There's a lot of good stuff about them. Number one, you don't need an opt-in page. So it's something you can launch really, really quickly. You don't even need a thank you page. You do need a privacy policy, and that's something I can show you how to get set up pretty quick using a pretty neat little online service. Another cool thing about this is most of the time you're getting your prospect's best data because it's the email and phone number associated with their account. So when they go and they click on the little form within Facebook to actually give you their info, it's pre-populated with whatever like their Facebook account information is. And that's pretty cool. Now, they can change it, and some people do, but generally speaking, you're getting pretty good contact data, which is awesome. You can also, to a degree, pre-qualify people using custom questions. Now, there is a little trick to this. You don't want to ask like too much personal stuff that violates Facebook's terms and whatnot. But you can ask them things like, how soon are you looking to get started, or what best describes your interest, and things like that, which, if appropriate, is really, really handy. You can also have people choose a time for you to call them, for example. So there's like all kinds of really cool stuff that you can do with these things. So it's a really good, quick win kind of ad campaign to set up, regardless of where you are in your journey with ads. So before you get started with doing anything, first thing you got to figure out is, all right, well, what's the end result, right? So I'm going to place this ad out here. What do I want to have happen as the end result of somebody giving me their contact data? Is that to ultimately get them to schedule an appointment, or do I just want to get someone to opt in for my email sequence, or do I just want to get buyer intent? And buyer intent, by the way, would be something like enter your name and email address to get a 15% discount on our stuff. That's buyer intent. Obviously, they're probably wouldn't do that unless they were interested in getting the discount, right? So that's what I mean by that. So you got to figure out, okay, why am I doing this? And interestingly enough, a lot of times, and I've helped people with advertising for a long time, a lot of times when an ad account doesn't work right is because the end result wasn't actually thought out. So just kind of make a note of what your goal with this thing is. So what are you going to do with the leads? When they come in, are you going to put them into an email sequence? That's probably the simplest thing to do. Are you going to have like one of your salespeople instantly notified so they could do a rapid response callback? I just read somewhere that people are 70% more likely to do business with you if they're wanting to talk to you, if they get a phone call from you within an hour of becoming a lead. So what are you looking to do, right? So you just need to know this, that's all. And then what are you offering in exchange for their opt-in? You get a white paper, free report, a checklist, video. It could be anything, a discount, a sample, like you name it, right? Really, it's kind of sky's the limit here. And finally, who is your target customer, right? So these are the sort of things that you need to know. You don't actually have to do anything to know these. You just sort of need to know going in why we're doing it. Right? And like I said, super, super simple process. There's really only three moving pieces. You got the ad itself. Usually looks something like this. By the way, this is a classic example of buying intent here, right? For Farm Fresh to You. Nobody would really sign up to get $15 off unless they wanted to buy this kind of stuff. So it's a real good way to get a list of people that are interested. Here's one from our homies at Digital Marketer. This is where you could just download like some stuff from them and get on their email address or on their email list. And you also, if you choose to, can have a custom thank you page that the person is able to click to after they fill this out. So Facebook can just show them a thing that says, okay, cool, we'll be in touch. Or they can say, okay, cool, we got your stuff, click here to go to a page. So this is an optional moving piece, but it's certainly helpful. So how does it all work? How do you set it up? Well, it's really, really simple, but we need to do it right so you don't waste a bunch of money. Okay, so here's the deal. It starts with a campaign. Duh. All right. So in Facebook, as you probably already know, a campaign really has three components. You got the campaign itself, and inside of a campaign is an ad set. And the ad set is basically saying, okay, I want to show an ad to some people. Right? And so that's kind of where you're choosing your targeting. That's within the ad set. And then you also say, I want to show them a specific ad. And then you've got the ad, right? And so that's kind of how campaigns are structured. Well, in most cases with social media ads, when I see people doing it and they have a hard time, they'll choose like one audience and they'll be like, okay, I chose this audience, and I've set it for $50 a day or whatever, and I'm having a little bit of trouble. Sometimes that works, but usually it ends up in frustration. So here's what I recommend you do. All right, everything's the same. Have a campaign. I'll walk you through this in a second, by the way. Super easy. We create an ad set with one audience, and I'll show you some targeting stuff. I'll build an ad with you, actually, and then we show them one ad, right? And then we duplicate this, except everything's exactly the same, except in this second ad set we just choose a different audience, and then we duplicate it again, and we do that as many times as you can stand. Like, I like to do it, about 10 times at minimum. And so what we have is this one campaign, which would be our lead ads campaign. Everybody's seeing the same ad, but we have all these little ad sets. And here's the trick with each ad set. I kind of want to call this the miser method, if that hasn't been taken. Each ad set, I recommend a very low daily budget, like a couple of dollars. And what happens is if you have like 10 different audiences, let's say, you're maybe spending $10, $20 a day, and it forces Facebook to find your very best people because you're only giving them like this little budget per ad set. And some of them won't work and you turn those off. And then the ones that did work, you kind of leave them up, but you're not risking a lot of money. So that's the approach we're going to use. All right, so that's kind of our overall big picture idea. So let me walk you through this, creating this sucker. What do you say? Okay, let's do it.